everybody, Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching and Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channels. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. What we do around here is bring about conversations of a psychological, mental health, and emotional health paradigm. No, wait, wrong channel. This is Pro Wrestling Logic, where we kind of discuss old school wrestling, new school wrestling, and all points in between. This is the Superstars of Wrestling review series for the 8th of October, 1994. A lot of people say this is a weak version of the wrestling war, so to speak. I tend to think even this, in a lot of ways, even though it's gimmicky and goofy and kind of silly, targeted to kids, is a lot better than what we have today, because at least you have guys that still tell semblances of stories in matches, as it were. Anyway, this is the Vince McMahon, Jerry Lawler on commentary, including Bob Backlund as a guest on the Heartbreak Hotel, where Backlund claims that the WWF was stolen from him in his, and he was robbed over 10 years ago, and he's waited 10 years to get it back, they also featured footage of Paul Bearer looking at various horror movies inside a video store and coming to the idea that he comments on the film titles, basically getting ready for Yokozuna and The Undertaker at the fate of the hands of The Undertaker, including also the New Generation promo featuring Razor Ramon speaking to a priest in the confessional, and also features vignettes for The Undertaker and Bearer speaking about Yokozuna faltering and failing to put an end to the Taker, and that Yokozuna would reap what he had sown and face the Reaper, and also including George Steele appearing in the film. Ed Wood is featured on this, although I don't think much of that's featured on the network. Doink the Clown also distracts Jerry Lawler on a video montage with while Dink puts a pie under Lawler's seat to close the program. But an actual, I guess you'd say, regular match, as we see Bam Bam Bigelow and Duke the Dumpster Droese. Certainly Bigelow, as a member of the $1 Million Corporation, getting a bit more pushed than Droese by far. And we kind of see things going in that general direction. Lots more basic punishment from Bigelow. Punches, kicks, body slams, and the like. Brawling to the outside, Bigelow not really pushed in the way that he had been, certainly in Japan. Bigelow, much bigger star in Japan than he's ever allowed to be in this run in the WWF. I think he could have been more, but also not necessarily sure that a lot of people wanted to deal with him. The fact that they work less than 5 minutes and there's rampant chinlocks throughout also speaks to Josie's inexperience to be on national television at the time. And then Ted DiBiase gets involved, gets up on the apron, distracted by Ted DiBiase, and eventually there's a splash in the corner missed by Bigelow, and ultimately that doesn't go the way that anybody plans. And so Droese misses a splash in the corner. Bigelow rolls him up, gets the victory. As mentioned, Paul Bearer is in the video store watching or looking at a bunch of horror films. Jim Cornette promises that they shouldn't say the casket word around Yokozuna. Highlights from Raw, pretty basic there. And then we see the British Bulldog in a squash match. Of course, Owen Hart coming along with him because they are aligned as actually not aligned as heels yet. The Owen Hart thing is that Owen Hart is kind of involved with the Bulldog loosely going into Survivor Series 94 because they're both corner man for Bret Hart and Bob Backlund. Bulldog with his basic spots against Ben Jordan. Ben Jordan, a pretty good enhancement talent at the time. Shoulder tackle by the Bulldog, hip tosses, power slams, and eventually the running power slam gets him the victory and sends him on his merry way. As mentioned, the Razor Ramon thing with the priest, which I did not remember from childhood, funny as all heck. Anyway, Bob Backlund comes on the Heartbreak Hotel in a business suit complaining that he had been aced out of the championship, and several times Shawn Michaels tells him to calm down, also tells him to speak in language that regular people can understand, which I thought was funny. The guest ring announcer spot is continued, and Jeff Jarrett is the person that is guest ring announced by a local young lady. Jarrett, of course, is doing pretty well here in 1994, although my personal preference is Jeff Jarrett from the CWA/USWA years, but that's just me, and I tend to like episodic storytelling. Anyway, Jarrett in a enhancement match, and enhancement telling him a little bit of offense, including a sunset flip on Jarrett, getting a near fall. Jarrett always pretty good about trying to give the guys who are putting him over a pretty good run. And a snap suplex, Jarrett eventually gets the figure four, which is to be expected. That's his main move at the time. Odd that Ric Flair using it on one channel, Jarrett using it on another. There is a vignette where they talk about no baseball game today because of the baseball strike, but the Randy Savage, who did play pro ball, I think, for a AA or AAA team, goes and offers to play with the kid, and also they basically do a voiceover stating that no one is going to get aced out. Anyway, the Head Shrinkers are here. Barry Horowitz and another enhancement talent. Head Shrinkers still baby faces at the time. They are phasing out Samu, and within a matter of a couple of weeks here, Sione, otherwise known as the Barbarian, is here. Captain Lou Albano also part of managing the team. Headlocks, the headbutts, basic stuff, and the top rope splash from the Head Shrinkers, and they take their opponents out. The Head Shrinkers at the time were pretty over as baby faces, kind of second generation individuals. Basically the hype for the Action Zone, which was the Sunday afternoon program that replaced All American Wrestling. More hype from Vince McMahon and basic stuff there. King Kong Bundy makes his debut this week. King Kong Bundy back in the WWF for the first time since 1988, and gets a very, I'd say, lukewarm response. Bundy really doesn't do anything during this 94-95 run of major note, to be completely honest. He is in the last match, beating Mitch Bishop in a minute and 20 seconds, going nearly 6 years, and I mean, splash in the corner, that's about all you get out of it, and ultimately that's where that goes. We will be back with more right after this.